The observation deck of the Meridian hummed with the gentle thrum of fusion engines as John stood before the vast viewport, watching distant stars streak past in ribbons of light. 3 years into humanity's first deep space expedition, and the universe still took his breath away. "You shouldn't be here alone," came a voice behind him, melodic, yet carrying an otherworldly resonance that marked it as distinctly non-human. John turned to find Elsa standing in the doorway, her crystalline blue skin catching the starlight like faceted sapphire. The Valanthian diplomat had been aboard for 6 months now, serving as liaison between her people and the human expedition fleet. "Neither should you," John replied with a slight smile. "It's 0300 hours ship time." Elsa moved closer, her movements fluid in a way that defied Earth-born physics. "My species requires less sleep than yours." Another difference to add to the list. There was something in her tone, a hint of melancholy that John had noticed growing over the past weeks. The Valanthians were an ancient race, their civilization spanning millennia, while humanity had only just begun reaching for the stars. Yet despite their technological superiority, they had sought out Earth, desperate for an alliance. "You've been distant lately," John said carefully. "Ever since the council meeting." Elsa's luminescent eyes dimmed slightly. "Your diplomatic corps doesn't trust me. They believe I'm hiding something." "Are you?" "Yes." The admission came without hesitation. She moved to stand beside him at the viewport. "I'm hiding how much I've come to admire your people, how much I've come to admire you." John felt his pulse quicken but kept his voice steady. "That's dangerous for a diplomat to admit." "Dangerous," Elsa repeated, then laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a cosmic breeze. "Your people don't even understand how dangerous you are, do you? That's what makes humans so extraordinary." "I'm not sure I follow." Elsa turned to face him fully, her expression intense. 3 months ago, the Meridian encountered the Krell Devastator, one of their dreadnoughts, a vessel that has destroyed entire fleets. Your captain should have retreated, but he didn't. Do you remember what he said?" John nodded slowly. "He said, 'We didn't come this far to run away.'" "Exactly. The Krell expected retreat. They've conquered 47 species across 12 sectors, and all of them followed predictable protocols. Your captain did something no tactical computer in the galaxy would recommend. He flew directly at them, broadcasting every detail of human history on open channels. "The first contact protocol," John said. "Share everything, hide nothing." "Insanity," Elsa breathed, but there was awe in her voice. "You transmitted your wars, your failures, your genocides alongside your art, your music, your literature. You showed them humanity at its worst and its best, unfiltered. The Krell Devastator withdrew. They said we were too unpredictable to engage." "No." Elsa shook her head, her crystalline hair swaying. "They said you were too honest. In a galaxy built on strategic deception, humanity's radical transparency is a weapon no one can counter. You terrify the powerful because you refuse to play by rules that took millennia to establish." John considered this. "Is that why Valanthia sought an alliance? Because we're useful weapons?" "That's what my government believes, yes." Elsa moved closer, close enough that John could see his reflection in her faceted skin. "But I've learned something they haven't. I've watched you in the mess hall, sharing stories with crew members. I've seen you stay up for 30 hours straight, helping Engineer Martinez repair the quantum drive, even though it wasn't your duty. I've watched you treat every species we've encountered, from the silicon-based Thraxians to the methane-breathing Quilori, with the same curiosity and respect." She paused, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "Last week, you asked me about Valanthian poetry. Do you know how long it's been since anyone asked about our culture rather than our technology?" "Elsa, I'm not like human women," she said suddenly, the words spilling out as if rehearsed. I don't feel emotions the way you do. My people are logical, measured. We've evolved beyond the primitive drives that still govern humanity. I'm supposed to be superior. The silence stretched between them, filled only by the ship's ambient sounds. John could see the conflict in her luminescent eyes, the way her hands trembled slightly. A gesture he'd learned meant deep emotional turmoil in Valanthians. He smiled then, gentle and genuine. But you have something special. Elsa looked at him, startled. What? You have the courage to question your own superiority. You have the wisdom to see value in what you were taught to consider primitive. John reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away, and placed his hand near hers on the viewport's railing, not touching, but close. Your people may have evolved beyond certain emotions, but you've chosen to feel them anyway. That's not weakness, Elsa. That's strength. Your species has a saying, Elsa said, her voice thick with something John recognized as tears, though Valanthians didn't cry. About not being the strongest or the smartest, but the most adaptable. Darwin, John confirmed. I think he was wrong. Elsa finally closed the distance between their hands, her crystalline fingers intertwining with his. The touch sent a slight electric tingle through his skin, a side effect of Valanthian bioelectricity. Humans aren't just adaptable. You connect. You find common ground where none should exist. You build bridges while the rest of the galaxy builds walls. That's the part that scares you, isn't it? John asked gently. That maybe we're not the primitive ones. I whispered to my superiors that humans were technologically inferior, Elsa admitted. That you needed our guidance. But the truth? I think you're going to change the entire galaxy. Not through conquest or advanced technology, but through something far more powerful. You'll make the rest of us remember what it means to be truly alive. In the viewport before them, a nebula was coming into view, a cosmic cloud of purple and gold, birthing new stars. It seemed fitting, John thought, for this moment. My government sent me to assess whether humans could be controlled, Elsa continued. I'm going to tell them the truth. You can't be. But that's not a threat. It's your gift to the galaxy. John squeezed her hand gently. What happens now? Now? Elsa turned to him, and her smile was radiant enough to rival the stars. Now I choose to learn what it means to be human, and maybe together we discover what it means to be something entirely new. The Meridians sailed on through the cosmos, carrying humanity's most dangerous weapon into the unknown. Hope.